Hey guys, my name is Nabiri and it's time for another Synth Saturday, and today I'm gonna be doing another feedback session. And before we start, of course, just leave a comment or a like down below. Just let me know you were here, and if anything was unclear, just comment it down below and I'll do my best to answer your questions. But first off, we're gonna start off with an edit of Bonfire. So this intro sounds quite nice, but the thing I would change personally is shortening up the build-up, because this transition over here is quite nice and it already ends with that Bonfire vocal, and I would just personally put the drop over here. So you're having this extra build-up and I don't really feel that you need that. And on the kicks sound okay. It sounds nice and warm, and the punch is alright, especially that EDM kick. It doesn't interfere with your tail, so that sounds nice in the beginning. And then you're switching up that punch and it's still working fine. But you're adding this screech on top of there, but the screech is really dry. I would maybe add some reverb on there to have it a little bit more in the background, or at least have it fill some more space for your mix. And then you're switching on to that vocal chop bit of the drop. And over there I would kind of put some more distortion on that vocal, or play around a little bit more with the vocal so that it's still recognizable as the vocal, but maybe try to make something weird out of it. But right now it's just a little bit too dry on the kick, just literally put on top of there. So you might want to take a look on that, maybe put some reverb on there as well so that it fits a little bit nicer into your mix. So on this breakdown, again, I really feel that you're doing the transition properly. It sounds nice how you switch from the original to your concept. But on the leads, I think they're really thin, and it does sound that you need to add some extra layers. And also with your reverb, you've sidechained it, and that's great, but it's just a little bit too much, because right now the notes are completely dry, and then the reverb kicks in, and it also kicks in a bit of an off feeling. So you might want to change your release of your fruity limiter, or the compressor at least that you're using for the sidechain, so that it's just a little bit more in motion with the rest of the melody. And for the melody itself, for the synth, I would just add a more proper top lead and start backing that up with some hypersols, like I normally do with my leads as well. It's just sounding really thin, like it's only 1 or 2 layers, and I feel that it would need some more work. Also, when you're adding that crash on top, it can work, but right now, because the lead is already quite small, it just doesn't really work that well. But that's okay, everyone has to learn, and as long as you make that lead a bit bigger, I feel that a bit with the crashes on top of that lead could just work. The thing you're doing with that kick is really creative, but sometimes I feel it doesn't really fit with the melody. But that's also because your melody has this really detuned and off lead layer in there. Because yeah, it's just sounding a little bit too off with your kick. And if you're making these, or if you're gonna remake those leads, take out that really detuned layer and just start over and start to make it a little bit more centralized on the notes that you're actually playing. But a part of that, I really like that little trick that you're doing with the kick. I feel that the punch over here could just be a little bit more powerful, so maybe you want to distort the kick a little bit more, but it's working, and especially with the more smaller lead, this kick still stands out. So it's okay, but it might need some more work. I really like that fill that you did at the end. It really caught me off guard, so that's a great one. And I feel that with this punch, actually, if you put this punch in that Melo drop kick, it's already going to sound a lot more powerful. And then if you're just going to rework that lead and make it a little bit more centralized on the right notes, not too detuned, and just a lot bigger, I feel that you can make this work. Also, with that higher punch in that outro, I would maybe try to fully distort the tail and just make something really weird out of it. Because right now, the kick or the punch is already quite in your face, but the tail is just a little bit lacking behind. So you might want to figure out a way to just fully distort the kick and just create a weird and wacky kick that's gonna make the crowd go, wow. So overall, I feel that this track has some nice creativity, but I feel that your leads and your reverb could just use a little bit more work. And next up, we got Compromise with To The Universe.
Know that we fly, know that they ride or die. I keep wave on my side. CJ Ack, now I gotta roll with ice. Now I gotta roll with ice.
So with this track, we're starting off with a nice atmosphere, but there's no sub in there, which is okay for the first few bars, but after a few bars, I would really introduce a sub. So that when your piano hits over here, I would at least put some sub behind there to just have some more body for the entire breakdown. Also, I feel that you could use some more reverb so that the breakdown feels a little bit bigger. And when that reverb helps you to put that space into your breakdown, I think you're gonna notice yourself as well that the vocal is just a little bit too quiet. Right now it's already just a little bit too quiet, but when you're adding some reverb to your breakdown, I think it's gonna sound even more quiet. So you want to raise that vocal just a little bit more, so that it's more in front of your mix. And also on the other sounds in the intro, on top of the kick as well, I just feel that they can use some more reverb. They're really small reverbs that they're having, and with hardstyle we're just tending to use some more bigger reverbs, or at least quite wet sounds. So you might want to put some more reverb on your screeches at the end over here as well. And same with the melody that's coming in the middle. I feel that it just fades out a little bit too quickly. So maybe putting some extra reverb on this intro will really help.
On a journey to open your mind and a path to free your soul, a road leading to revelations. Travelers, we welcome you to the universe.
I'm just really feeling like I'm listening to a different track right now with the rap vocal in the beginning, and just the transition to this part just sounds like it's a different track, but still I like that really quiet part, or the small part with the piano, but after that you really want to put some reverb in here so that it's gonna sound big. Right now it's just sounding too tiny. Part of that, let's just keep listening.
The universe.
Okay, so the main focus again on this is reverb. Your leads sound okay and they sound layered and they're quite full. I do think you could add some more layers that will sound more unique though, but again the reverb is just a little too small. Also, I just don't really understand why you're using that rap vocal for one part of the track and now the other vocal, and now you're taking back the rap vocal for the build-up. It just doesn't really add up to make one consistent track, to me at least. Also, I feel that the kicks aren't really the most creative type of kick right now, in the scene at least, so you might want to try and make something else out of it, or maybe just put some full distortion on there, just make something weird with it. Just have distortion help you make some more extreme kicks and just some more in-your-face kicks, because right now it works, but it's not really that special. Also, the screech on top of that kick is just too dry again. You want to put some really heavy reverb on there, so just add some more reverb on there too. Also, on that outro with the higher punch, I feel that the punch is too loud and the till is just a little too thin. So you might want to add some more layers. And because it's already a quite distorted till and you're having that high buzzy feeling in that till, you maybe want to add like a serum layer where you just only hear the mid crunch, and it's quite distorted, but it's not that much distorted that you're really hearing that buzz. So adding that extra layer in the till will just really help when you're pitching it as well. It's just going to sound a lot more full and a lot more in your face. And with such a punch, it's just going to be a little bit louder so that they're more on the same level. And next up, we got NoizeFreakzfan with Your Heart Beating. Okay, so we're starting off with this intro immediately. And it sounds nice, but it just has overall just a little bit too much highs. And I also feel that maybe your reverb has a little bit too much of a high cut as well. So that's put too high. Maybe you want to put the high cut in your reverb just a little bit lower. But that's just in this mix right now. Part of that, everything just has maybe a little bit too much highs, and your kicks are a little bit in the background, so you might want to put your kicks a lot louder, so that it's just more kicks and the screeches behind that instead of the screeches and then the kick underneath there. Also, just a whole vibe check. The melody sounds really happy, but the kicks sound a little bit more dark and more heavy. And of course, you can make this work, but right now it just feels a little bit off. You're really making use of reverb properly, and it's all sounding like it's in one space, and that's really nice. But I feel that on your leads, you can maybe add some more reverb, or, well, if you don't want to add more reverb, make sure that your sidechain reverb isn't that sidechain, because right now the notes just sound a little bit too dry. And also on your leads, you might want to add a real top lead, because right now it's having proper layering. You hear the chords and you hear some normal leads and some hypersols, but I feel that it's really missing a little bit of a screamy and a characterized layer that's just gonna be in front. So again, everything just sounds a little bit too much highs, but that's also because when you're adding that top lead layer, I think it will just balance everything out. So just maybe try adding that extra layer, and a part of that with the reverb, it sounds nice. Just a little bit too highs in the mix. Okay, so the drop sounds nice, but again, the still issues are with the leads, of course. I also feel that your kicks could maybe just be a little bit more full, just because right now your sub is already on the right level, but the kick is still behind the melody. So you, of course, just want to raise your kick so that it's in front of your melody, but maybe you want to add some extra layers in there so that it has more mid information instead of only sub. So maybe add some extra layers into your kick that are more crunchy, so that when you're pitching it, it's just going to have some more character and just some more fullness that is going to be in front of your melody. So you just want to switch the balance up with the leads. Just put that kick a little bit louder so that it's in front of your melody. Over here, I would really just put a kick and make it 4x4, so that's really having some drive. Out of experience, I noticed that when you really don't put that drive in your bridge at the end of your track, it's just going to lose the interest of the listener. So you really want to put at least something that's just going to put some more drive in here, because I know this beat sounds nice, but it's not really helping right now to make this track flow from where you are to the next part. So I'd really suggest you add something that's just giving it some more drive. Okay, so I'd say that's quite an interesting ending, and I really didn't expect you to fake drop it twice. I also kind of feel that it doesn't really work because it's such a cheerful melody, and then you're getting that heavy kick in there again, and then it's gonna be a cheerful melody. It's just kind of, in my opinion, not really working. But part of that, if you want to switch to that darker kick, that sounds nice, and I really didn't expect that, so that's kudos on you. A part of that, yeah, I feel that there's still the same things apply to the kick and the melody, of course. And you're already really noticing when you're having this first switch, your kick is a little bit more full in the mids as well, so it's a little bit more in front. And then when it switches to that second kick, it's just a little too weak and it has too less mids, so it's really more in the background and it's only having a sub. So just maybe add some layers to your kicks and maybe take a look into your reverb for your leads and maybe add that extra layer. But a part of that is quite a nice track. And we're going to finish this off with another track from Compromise called Dreamers of This World.
Free souls.
So again, I feel that reverb is just a little bit of an issue. I really like the setting you're going for with the brass and the whole vocal, but I just don't really get this little fill in here. It just sounds so off. So I would just make a proper build up and make it end with that we are the dreamers of this world and then have the kick in your face. I don't really understand why you put that fake drop in there. It's not always necessary. On this kick, I feel that the punch maybe could have some extra lows and the whole tail can just have some extra layers in the mids as well, so it's gonna sound full. Right now, if you look at the spectrum over here as well, you see that sub really high and just nothing in between. And if you take listen to a kick of mine, for example, say this one, you're also seeing a lot of information in the mids. So you might want to add some extra layers to just add some more information into that mids. And also on the screech, just add some more reverb on there.
We are all dreamers. We picture ourselves flying higher than the sky, watching the colorful nature awaken below our feet, and the waves of the sea reflecting the bright sun, following the path of the music that guides us until we reach the golden red sunset. We are all free souls, the dreamers of this world.
I just want to say that this track has such huge potential. I really like the melody, the sounds are alright, and the brass is okay, and the whole vocal is sick. But you just need to balance everything and put a shitload of reverb on there, because right now it sounds so small. If you fix this, it's really having a great potential. Like, really, it's a great potential on this one. I'm really getting excited for this. But when you're having this breakdown over here, I like that you're starting off small, but then you gotta make it big again. And right now it's just keeps being small and just having a vocal in there. When you have this little transition, have some maybe reverse reverbs, make it sound bigger, or at least that something's coming, and then put that brass in your face with that vocal on top and maybe some strings behind there with even more reverb. So that sounds huge. Right now it sounds so small, but like I said, it has some great potential, and if you really put your time in here, it's just gonna, I'm sure that you can make this sound great.
Free souls. The dreamers of this world.
The kick fits with this melody, and the sounds together sound great. But again, your kick just needs some extra work to just be a little bit more warm in the mids, and then it's gonna really carry this melody. Also, you might want to put some more reverb on this melody, I feel, still. Or maybe just put one more top lead just a little bit more in front, or put the top lead just a little bit louder. But that's just what I feel when I'm listening to the drop. Again, it just has great potential, but I feel that you really should focus a little bit on reverb. And since your leads are already quite wet, just take that reverb and put that on everything else, and it's already gonna sound a lot better.
Free souls. Of this world.
Okay, so on the outro, I would really switch that first kick because it just doesn't really fit that much and it doesn't really sound that well. But again, with that higher female vocal and then going back into the melody, that sounds great. But then you're wanting to switch the punch, and the punch doesn't really sound that good. It's just too separate of the rest of your kick. So I maybe wouldn't do that for just the ease of mixing. And also that fill from the first punch to that second punch doesn't really work. I think you're putting triplet underneath normal melody. So you might just want to put some other fill in there. But overall, I feel that this track has some great potential. I really love the melody, but I feel that you really should focus on all the other elements and just put some more reverb on there, and maybe put some extra layering in the kicks as well, and maybe with some layers in the breaks, put them a little louder, just drown them in reverb, make it sound huge, and I think you'll have some potential in this track. Now I hope you liked this video and you learned something from this, and hopefully I'll see you back soon again. Cheers!